Hey everybody, Rebecca here coming at you from the new house. This video is going to be a new home tour. Well, it's new to me anyway. Christopher has been here for a while. As y'all know, I have finally reached financial independence and retired early. I am doing a lean fire approach, which means that I have to be very budget conscious, and there are a lot of things that we want to do to this house, both inside and out, but I wanted to just give you guys an overall feel for the place today and show you what we had in mind as far as a project list goes. Some of the projects are already in process. In fact, if you saw my most recent upload, that was the first priority that I had when I moved here, was to get Rollo groomed. He had gotten so hairy and dirty and needed his nails trimmed. That whole video is up on the channel if you want to see it, but I had to do that first before this video because the weather has cooled off a little bit outside and I didn't want to bathe them when it's too terribly cold outside. So anyway, for this video, Christopher will also feature at some point. He's out walking around outside, probably looking at the tractor that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But I wanted to show you guys the inside of the house first. So I am standing here at the main entrance, and the thing that I like most when you come into this house is you are immediately, there's a straight line shot, a view of the gorgeous lake and the field in the front of the house. It's just amazing that this is the first thing that you see when you walk into the house. But room one here, coming back out, I will say, as much as I have talked about my previous home in North Carolina being small, this house is smaller. It is only 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom. That's a bathroom. The second bedroom is incredibly small. Christopher just turned that into his office and there's nothing to do in there, so we won't worry about it. Here we just have a coat closet. There's really nothing in there to see and nothing that we're gonna change. Over here, I do not love it. But this was the best spot that we had for the litter box and our robot vacuum / mop over here, and Rollo's food is in here too. These two things we bought to actually hide the litter box and that vacuum. However, we need to doctor these a little bit. The way that they were put together, we need to fix it basically so that the litter box will fit and be functional for the cats, and the vacuum will fit and be functional for the vacuum as well. So that is one small project that we have not yet gotten to, but we will, just so that you don't see this first thing when you come in the door. But then moving on in here to the main room, there's Rollo laying like a lump in the floor. The kitchen is to the right, and the master bedroom is to the left. We'll go in the bedroom first. So, y'all can maybe see why I wanted a Murphy-style bed for this one master bedroom. So, the furniture that I bought months ago is here. It's out in the garage, and that is why we have, our mattress just on the floor and have things very simple in here right now, because we have nicer furniture out in the garage. But I can't put that furniture together until we get the walls painted in here, because right now there is wallpaper, and y'all, I don't know, I guess it's sunflowers. I'm not crazy about it, and it's kind of greenish. I mean, it's not terrible, but I don't love it. I would rather it match the paint out in the living room. So before we get our furniture together, this is yet another project to do in here, is get the walls painted first. But once the furniture is put together, we'll have cabinets on both sides of the bed, and a Murphy style bed. So when we're not sleeping, and especially during the winter, it's going to be super helpful. We can flip the bed up onto the wall, and this treadmill that I bought folds flat so it can be stored underneath the bed during the winter time when I'm not using it and it's too cold to walk outside. And now I should ideally have no excuse to be inactive for the winter. This door here goes directly out onto the back deck so you can see the view and everything, but you know, with the treadmill here, it's blocked. Yeah, this room will be a lot more functional once we get the bedroom furniture put together. But again, we gotta paint it first because this entire back wall is gonna be pretty much covered with furniture, cabinets, bed stuff. Yeah, easier to paint first rather than have to try to get around it later. So, looking at the living room here, we got a new couch, and the covers that are on it are very temporary. I bought some fitted covers to go on it so that it'll look a little bit neater. However, because I do have cats, we're still going to use these covers on the sofa just to keep it protected. The old sofa we decided to keep because that is now Rollo's personal bed. So he can lay there and have the entire couch to himself, and Christopher and I can be here and still have plenty of space. Since we are going to paint the bedroom, we also want to paint in here. Now, the wallpaper on the back wall here, Christopher and I, we both like it. There's Bjorn. So we're not gonna paint over that wallpaper. But the paint in here in the living room, you know, it's just starting to be time where it could use a refresh. You can see some spots on the wall. So that is another thing on the list of stuff to do, is paint in here. We'll also get some things to like try to make this area look a little bit nicer, but for now, it's fine. Same thing over here. For now, this stuff I don't love here on the wall, but there's nowhere else to put it really. Working with a very small house. The fireplace though, I really love that feature. It's gonna be so nice in the winter time to have that. And lastly here, I'm not gonna go up the ladder and show you this area, but the area up there, the loft, that is my special area. And there is a clue as to what that area is going to be used for. If you know, you know kind of thing. But yeah, I'll show you guys that area up there later. But I can tell you right now, that is where I'm going to be spending most of my time this winter, just decompressing when it's super dark outside. The thing I love about being up there is that you can still look out and see the view, and I cannot wait to just look at the snowy fields and a snow-covered lake. It's gonna be so pretty, you guys. But while we still have decent weather outside, we gotta take advantage. So I'm gonna walk you guys around the property outside. Kitchen here, you know, it's fine. It's small and it's pretty basic, I will say. But it's fine for now. I don't love the silver. Y'all know me from the house that I came from, the house that I remodeled in Kings Mountain. I am a fan of the black and white. Not really a huge fan of all the chrome, but it's fine. It'll do. The drawers are soft close, which is nice. Maybe one day, if I get bored and I have the extra funds, I can at least change out the hardware on the cabinets and the drawer pulls. Maybe we can change the faucet on the sink ourselves to try to save a little money there and switch it out for something a little bit more modern looking. Same thing with these track lights up above. We could switch it out for something more black and modern looking that Christopher and I like. But for now, the kitchen is fine. Other projects that I've got going. You'll notice my oven light on down here. I've got some sourdough starter in here. I am not sure though if it's alive or dead. But this is another way that I was hoping to try to save us some money is get into baking. And if not, you know, sourdough all the time, just save money by baking bread. That's a bread machine there. The story with the sourdough starter is I actually ordered that while I was still in Kings Mountain. I thought that I bought some freeze-dried sourdough starter off of Amazon and had it delivered here. Turns out it was not freeze-dried. It was just ready-to-go sourdough starter in a little sealed package. But when Christopher got it, he said, hey, this smells really strong of bread, of course. He was like, can I put this in an airtight container? And I said, yeah, sure, that'll be fine, because I was thinking it was freeze-dried sourdough starter, and it's not. It's just regular starter, so I'm a little bit afraid we might have killed that sourdough starter, keeping it in an airtight container for months, just sitting in the cabinet. Y'all, if any of you bake, let me know if you think that is going to be salvageable or not. I fed that starter last night. It has been sitting roughly 12, 14 hours, something like that. It actually has risen just a tiny, tiny bit. So I'm going to try to feed it again tonight and see if it can be salvaged. It didn't smell bad when I took it out of the package, but yeah, I'm a little sketched out about whether or not I'm going to have to reorder some more sourdough starter and just start over, because we might have killed that one. Anyway, that is one thing that I want to do myself to save some money and not have to buy bread from the store, is bake it myself if I can. Another thing that Christopher and I both enjoy is kefir. And now I made kefir at home in Kings Mountain all the time. And so I'm going to continue that here. We keep a lot of kefir in the fridge to have for breakfast in the morning. And if I can make it myself and have it be a nice taste and a nice texture, then we don't have to buy that from the store either. All we have to get is milk. So that'll do it for the kitchen tour. The only other room in this house is our mud room here, / laundry room / where we keep the cat food so that the dog can't get it. I don't know what he's looking at, probably a bug. But yeah, this is just a little extra storage space in here. We have the clothes dryer. We don't actually have, you know, a usual like American dryer. We just have that. And the washing machine, all of the sorting for the recyclables, shoes and coats, and another entry to the house. And as far as projects go in here, there is nothing on our radar to do in here right now. If we changed anything about this room, it would be honestly to remodel over here. Get rid of this dryer, just this standing cabinet dryer, just to have more space, and somehow have like a washer and a dryer type situation. And then we could have this area for something else. But, you know, there's a cost to that also. And for now, this is functional. It works. It's fine. So that will do it for the inside stuff. Let's start walking around outside this gorgeous property. All right, so we stepped out from the kitchen door. Bjorn is wishing he could be out here, and Rollo wanted to come, so of course he's invited. He has his own lead here because the property is not fenced in like my old house was. But the cost of having to fence in this property, y'all, ain't no way. So the property extends all the way down to the tree line there, all the way down to the tree line there, all the way down to the forest, to the lake, this way, this way, this way, all the way to the lake, pardon the lawnmower. And it goes into the woods a little bit this way as well. So as large as this space is, with both of these fields, this is only about half of the property. The other half is on the other side of the road behind us. It is completely wooded, and honestly, we're probably just going to leave it that way because we have more than enough to keep us busy over here for years. So I guess the first thing you probably noticed that we want to do out here is trim all of these little birch trees that have started coming up in between the larger ones. It does block the view somewhat from inside the house. Of course, in the wintertime, it's better because, you know, the leaves fall off the trees. But that is something that we are slowly working on. Believe it or not, it actually looks better over in this corner where Christopher has already started to do some of that work. You can see our little picnic table shed down there by the water, and there is a dock down there where I could do some fishing as well. We'll take a look at that later. Also on our project list is to, you know, cut the fields at least once a year. Close up here to the house, that little mower keeps the grass trimmed near the house, so that is super handy. One thing also that we kind of already started somewhat is mouse proofing the house, because y'all, Christopher has lived here for one winter. Now, we have never seen mice in the house and no signs of them in the house. However, somehow they are getting up into the attic of this property. So, yesterday, since the weather was cooperating, we unscrewed the boards going all the way around the deck. And so they're loose, they're not screwed in right now. And Christopher has on order some more, it's called mouse brush and, you know, steel wool type of things that we can stuff up under the cracks and the corners. Christopher already did that for the corners of the house towards the front where he could reach, but we need some more mouse brush and some more steel wool and things to go around the border here on the outside. And that thing you heard rattling just a minute ago is over here somewhere. It's a noisemaker that is specifically meant to scare away small animals. So, you know, we're gonna try to mouse proof the house as best we can for this winter and see if we can still hear them crawling up into the attic at night. Hopefully not. But yeah, there's that noisemaker if you heard it. But yeah, we're just waiting for some more supplies to come in before we continue that project, and I'll try to get some footage of that when we do. But basically all we're doing is just pulling up these planks and putting the mouse stuff in there and hoping that it will keep them away. Sad thing about a project like that is that it's something that you do because you have to do it, you need to do it, you don't want mice in your house, but you can't even like see the benefit of it. So that's a little annoying. The other project, while we're here, so when I brought the pets over back at the end of April, 1st of May, y'all saw I made a video about this, pressure washing the pavers out here, pulling up all of the grass that had been overgrown where Rollo is standing and going all the way around the deck. All of this was pressure washed and cleaned. And now you can see the grass has come back with a vengeance. The flower boxes are horribly overgrown with weeds. That down there is a rhubarb though, so I'm gonna try to save that if I can. But we did buy some organic grass and weed killer for in between the pavers here. So I'm hoping, since all we did last time when I was here, I just pressure washed it. We didn't put anything down after that. Hopefully the grass and weed killer will stick and last for a while and keep it looking nicer. The other project I want to do for these flower boxes, y'all can see here how old they are. They're really starting to bow out on a lot of them. Eventually they will collapse. So I figure, since obviously I did not get the chance to use these this year, and y'all can see the corners are metal on these flower boxes, I am hoping that I can dig all of these out and replace the wood and continue to use the metal corner pieces and save a little money that way. Just get some new wood and make some new flower boxes of my own. And that way they'll last a little bit better. And while I'm at it, I did buy some like weed fabric, black plastic stuff that I could put underneath whenever I replace the flower boxes to hopefully keep the weeds from popping out on the sides where the flower boxes are gonna go. So that's gonna be a huge project and require a lot of digging. And it's not just these flower boxes here beside the house. There's 3 more over here that need the same. And then behind me is this greenhouse that obviously needs to be cleaned out. But I do have some spare flower pots and everything. That's nice. I will make use of those next year. And the last flower box is here, but I don't know, this one kind of looks pretty decent, so I don't think I'll rebuild that one. It still looks nice, it must be newer. There's a big jet going overhead. Okay, I had to wait for the jet to get mostly gone. Sorry for all that noise, but coming back around the greenhouse here, you can sort of see the next project that I would like to do. Christopher has kind of already accidentally started this for me. I want to get into composting. So out here is just a compost pile that I need to start, turning and adding to. I also have on order a compost bin that is up off the ground that you can turn yourself, just hand roll it, and I'm going to make use of that as well. This compost pile is just going to be for basically like outdoor stuff, dirt, grass clipping, leaves. But the compost bin that I bought up off the ground, I can use for kitchen food scraps because, again, mice. There's plenty of them around here, and we're a little bit worried about attracting them towards the house, so we got to be careful about that. Coming on around here, this is one of the garages. I guess I should show you guys that because I realized I did the house tour and did not show you that we do have a separate garage. So, house and garage. Two-door garage, which is really nice to have. Plenty of storage. There's Christopher. And over here we have the parking for the boat that came with the house and the tractor that came with the house also. So this gravel area, as you can see, is pretty grown up with weeds. So again, while I'm at it with my black plastic and weed fabric stuff, one project I want to do is scrape up some of this gravel, whatever we can, to save, but put down some black plastic or weed fabric to keep the weeds from growing back up in this area. And then we're going to re-gravel here and another area down closer to the water that I'll show you. But one project that is in process is this tractor. So it needs work. Christopher is working on redoing the hydraulics for it, so that is stuff that he's done there and there. Do not ask me to explain it, but this tractor is like 50-60 years old, so it's not surprising that it needed a little bit of love. So we're working on that, but eventually, if we can get it working, then it will definitely be useful to have around here because we need it for all of the fields. We're going to buy, in America we call it a bush hog, but over here in Sweden, I think they call it a slog hack. Once we get the tractor hydraulics fixed and up and running, we're going to use that to keep the fields cut down, and hopefully it will be able to handle, smaller birch trees like that. It can just grind those down, and then the fields will be a lot easier to maintain after that versus trying to cut everything down by hand. I'm going to do some of that myself this year before, it gets too cold in the winter. But doing it by hand is a lot of work compared to if you have a tractor that can just handle it and mow it down. That would be a whole lot easier. You'll notice also that there is a lot of stone pavers around this property. These were here when Christopher bought the house. Just keep those in mind. I think what I might use some of these triangular shaped pieces for is coming back over here to this little gravel area over here. I would like to construct a small fire pit here. I think this would be a good area for it, and we could have a few little outdoor chairs and things to come sit around and have a little campfire at night in this area. And I think that pretty much covers it for projects on this side of the house, at least until we get down to the water. But for now, I'm going to walk down to the other corner of the property down here, and y'all can see that. Oh, this side of the house. While I'm at it with the weed killer, this is going to be on my project list as well, obviously. Needs a little help here in the front of the house, but that will come along with the brick pavers, killing all the weeds in there. So now we're back out at the road, and so I mentioned that the other half of the property is on this side of the road. I mean, it goes, I don't want to show, but we do have a neighbor down this direction, and behind their house, it's almost like a U shape, but as much land as we have on this side of the road, there's about an equal amount over here on this side of the road, but it's all forested. So like I say, that is really bottom of the priority list for us right now. We have more than enough to take care of on this side of the road. But y'all, let me tell you what I love about this property. Well, besides the jet noises today that we've had, it is so deliciously quiet out here. I mean, there's nothing but wind. You can hear some bugs, you can hear the wind in the trees. Oh, that is also ours. It's a little bit of a woodshed, and there is a ton of birch wood already stacked up in there that's ready to go for the fireplace. We're not planning on doing anything with that. It's just going to continue to be wood storage, and it's fine as is. So looking back at the lake and the house again, all of this is still our property. More pavers that are stacked up over here for some reason. There's another pile of them down there, but I am going to make use of those. One other small project, now that I see it, I want to get that satellite dish off the house at some point, and I'm sure I will. And y'all, this is not going to be an exhaustive list of all of the projects that we have slated for this place. I am sure other things will pop up from time to time, because a property this size, there's just always something that needs to be done. Still going. So on this side of the property, there is a stream that goes all the way down to the lake, and I don't know if you can really tell, but it's kind of sloped down to the stream on this side and that side. And you can see we've got birch trees and stuff that are growing up wherever there are any ditches carved out in this field. There's birch trees that are starting to pop up. So all of that we want gone. I mean, we really do want to keep the fields clear and the ditches here along both sides of the road. I mean, this road is maintained by the state, so that's nice. But the ditches here, once we get the tractor up and going with the slog hack, it should be able to handle that pretty easy. Still coming down to the corner of the property. And once we get to the corner, I can actually turn around and show you guys the other side of the road a little bit better. So yeah, way down there is the house, and here is the property from this angle. Now this path here, as another jet flies over, I am so sorry y'all, I hope it's not too loud. I'll try to fix it in editing if I can, if the background noise is too much. Same thing with the wind. Anyway, this little path here, our neighbor actually cleared that out for us, which we were fine with because there's a nice little sitting area down in the woods next to the water that they like to use to keep a boat down there. They have some kids that like to use it, and then they made a little sitting area and stuff down there for them, a little campfire area too, and we don't mind, you know, they're welcome to use it. But this is the other side of the road, so the neighbor's house is behind me, but yeah, the rest of Christopher's property is on this side, and it goes around the back side of the neighbor's house, and like the vast majority of it, yes, we have a field here, but the vast majority of the property on this side of the road is forested. So for the time being, y'all can see we have got our work cut out for us just handling this side of the property. So I'm gonna walk down this way just a little bit. Just so you can hopefully get a feel for how big this place is. So much space. This line right down through here with all of the trees, the birch trees, there is another ditch that is starting to get overgrown. Another huge field behind here. That's why I wanted to walk down this way, because you couldn't even see it from that side of the house because of all of these trees that were blocking it. But there's this other huge field down here. One thing I will say is that the neighboring property on this side, and actually the other side of the house, the vast majority of the property in this area is owned by a logging company. And sadly, they own all of this over here, and they just recently cut down every tree that they could, obviously. I guess the good thing about it is that there's not going to be a whole lot of noise, and it's going to be years before they need to come back for this area. But yeah, it's a little bit sad looking over here. It's going to take some time for this to grow back up, but that's the logging company land. There's a small strip of trees that goes back to the road that divides the logging land from this property. And these woods here, obviously, are part of the property that we own too. And y'all, just look at how pretty the woods are here. Is that not gorgeous? Just mossy covered stones. Everywhere you look in this place is like a postcard picture. I absolutely love it. And I also love the fact that it is August right now. And I am outside, no humidity, nice cool breeze. When the wind stops, it does get a little warmer, but it's not intolerable heat like North Carolina. Honestly, this is my first time walking down here since the neighbors have cleared out this path. They did a good job. They cleared a whole circle area where they can turn around. I know they have a four-wheeler. But yeah, they like to come down here and use this little section of the woods to look at the lake. And they asked to keep a boat down here. I don't know if it is here right now or not. But are these woods not gorgeous? It is so amazing to me that I actually live here now. Like, what a dream. This is the area they wanted to store their boat, but I don't see it, so I don't know. Maybe they're out using it right now somewhere. But technically, this is still part of our property. The woods are just so pretty here, y'all. And these are wild lingonberries. I think. Pretty sure they're lingonberries and not like wild cranberries. Here is a wild blueberry. So, and the forest is just thick with them. All the way through the woods. So this is another thing that I can take advantage of, and I will take advantage of at some point to, you know, I could make some lingonberry jam. I could dry them out and use them as like dried cranberries for a salad. I mean, oh, there's the boat. Hello. But yeah, this place is just so amazing. Coming on around. Hopefully the trees are blocking the wind a little bit and it's not making too much wind noise for this video, but I just wanted to show you guys really the full property, just the scale of how beautiful it is here. I mean, look at these. Blueberries mixed in with the lingonberries. How gorgeous. Free food. Me doing this lean fire route. I absolutely love it. Now, if I can actually make myself stop working on projects around the house enough to come down here and get some of these, I need to. Also, look at this heather. I just absolutely love heather. I am sorry, not sorry, you guys. This is a property tour, a house tour, and a projects list video all in one. I know it's going to be super long, but this right here is exactly what I had in mind every single day when I was working 6 nights a week, 12-hour shifts in healthcare in the US, killing myself. I just kept all of this in mind, y'all, is all I can say. This is the most motivating thing, to know that I had all of this here waiting on me once I actually made it to a decent level of fire where I felt like I could come over and be able to, you know, support myself on a lean fire portfolio. Look at this, y'all. And not a soul out here. Absolutely beautiful today. So yeah, this is what all the neighbors did. Because they like to use this area to come out here and fish and cook. And honestly, I will probably use this area for some fishing too, myself. Okay. I'm gonna get back into the woods here where hopefully it's not quite so windy. And I'm going to continue to walk around that direction along the shore as best I can. Now, we don't have a clear path, obviously, but I'm going to try to keep going that way just to show you guys once we get over to the area that me and Christopher use on the regular basis, where our picnic table is and where our dock is. Okay, I lied. I wanted to walk along the shoreline, but the woods are so grown up right now that I couldn't really see a clear path, and I did not want to end up on my butt trying to walk and film at the same time. So I had to come back out here to the main path that the neighbors cleared off. But what I'll do is walk back up to the house, and then we'll walk down from the house the way that me and Christopher go, down to the water, to our little picnic table area, and I'll show you guys the things that we want to do down there. So obviously I'm back up at the house now, but I'm glad I did come this way, because speaking of nature's bounty, I forgot to tell y'all on the way down, that this house came with an apple tree. Now, it needs some care, some help. It's been neglected for a few years, but hey, there's only a few apples on it, but I can make use of those. I can make an apple, wild blueberry, cranberry, or lingonberry pie or something with them. I need to learn how to properly take care of an apple tree so that maybe we get some more and larger apples next year. But that's amazing. And over here is a plum tree. Look at these little plums. Y'all, that is so sweet. I could die happy, like, in this exact moment. Please don't, universe, but just saying. Like, I cannot believe this is my real life now, and I know I keep saying that, but seriously, I am so happy. House also came with a sauna. I don't know that we're ever going to use that, to be honest, but hey, it's nice to have, I guess. And I'm also glad that I came up this way because I forgot to mention we also have a root cellar with this property. So that's nice. However, you will notice we have some bricks piled up here. Reason being is that when we bought this property, we realized that this retaining wall was starting to bow out on this side. And Christopher figured it was better for him to, take some of those bricks down before they fell down and possibly broke. So, yet another project on the list for us to do is to figure out how to fix that once the tractor is up and running. So, y'all can see, I mean, the list just keeps getting longer. It's insane. But looking from the back of the house here, this is our path down to the water. So we'll come this way now. And I'm debating whether or not to speed up this video or to just let it be as is, because I feel like you guys will have a better feel for just how large this property is if I don't speed up all of these areas where I'm just walking through the woods or something and cut out places like that. But I don't know. We'll see once I get editing. I'm afraid if I don't do that, then this video is going to be like an hour long. So we'll see. So this is our little bridge across the stream that I was talking about from the gravel road. The gravel road is back there, but here you can probably see a little bit better how it comes down, slopes down on either side, and then there's trees that are growing up along the ditch. Those need to go whenever the tractor is up and running. All of these little birch trees and things growing up along this path is also on our list to chop down. At least for these on this side of the bridge, don't obstruct the view of the lake from the house. However, they're pretty thick, you can see. And I mean, when we got this property, we could tell that it kind of hadn't been messed with a whole lot outside for a few years at least. So our thought process is, once we actually get caught up with this property, with all of these things that need to be done, if we do them right, a lot of them are only going to need to be done once. Mouse-proofing the house, hopefully getting the tractor running well and it will stay running well and not need anything for a little while. Getting all these trees cut down, yes, they'll continue to want to grow up every year, but if there's just a few of them and they're small, that is a lot better than having this whole forest to deal with, really. So we're approaching the end of the path from the bridge, and now we're going into the woods back where our picnic table is. And this is the other project I wanted to show you guys. You can probably see what I'm talking about here. the gravel area where the boat and the tractor are. We want to do the same thing down here for this gravel path. It has gotten a lot more grass and weeds growing up in here this year than we ever really thought possible in one season, especially considering you don't get full sun here in the woods. But hey, these grass and weeds and tiny little trees here growing up, all of this we need to cut down, and I'm going to put down the weed fabric, the black plastic stuff, the stone pavers that I've been showing you guys that are laying around here. I want to make use of them and kind of line the pathway all the way down here. And once again, once the tractor is up and running, it will be a whole lot easier to bring bucketfuls of gravel down here to drop so that we can fix this path. And the thing is, when I was ordering the black plastic to put down, I only had Christopher measure this path down here to the dock. I completely forgot about the parking area where the boat and the tractor are parked. So I'm probably going to have to order some more black plastic for that area too. Side note, more berries down here. Gosh, everywhere you look. It looks like these are all lingonberries, but yeah, the other side had lingonberries and blueberries. I am pretty sure too, when I was here earlier bringing the pets over, I'm pretty sure I spotted an elderberry tree in the woods. So elderberries too. But yeah, y'all, I mean, this place is so beautiful. So yeah, re-gravel and black plastic so that hopefully next year we won't have this exact problem with weeds coming back up through the path if we do it right the first time. And then down here in this little circle area, I think it would be a good spot for another little fire pit down here. Because, I mean, how nice would it be to catch a fish and then just cook it right here over a campfire? I think that would be so cool. So this is our little picnic table covered area that you can see from the inside of the house. Nice to have. That also came with the property, but you know what? It's appropriate, so we're leaving it. But y'all, this view. And the sound. Nothing but wind and water down here. I will be spending a lot of time down here on the dock, just decompressing. And speaking of the dock, you can probably see a project that is pretty high up on my list. Now, I have filmed this video in no particular order as far as what we want to do to this property. There's the house way up there. But if we're talking about things that need to get done before it gets too cold, taking care of this reed grass is one of the things. So, I mean, this reed grass is growing here because it's shallow enough that there's light that gets to the bottom of the lake. So, the reading that I have done about reed grass like this is that you cannot pull it up by the roots. The roots are too interconnected to be able to pull it up by the root to get rid of it. So what you have to do is just cut the reed grass because the inside of the reeds are hollow. If you keep the reed grass cut down, water gets down into the reeds, and essentially over time the roots will drown because they will not get the nutrients that they need from the grass coming up if you keep it cut. So like I was saying, this property has been neglected for a few years and they haven't done much with it. So all of this reed grass has just taken over as far as it can, which wouldn't bother me at all, really, because I don't think it's ugly or anything to look at. My only thing is that I cannot make use of this dock and fish down here as long as this reed grass is growing here, because I mean, I know it's probably really hard to tell from just the video, but I cannot throw a line out past where the reed grass is. And even if I could, what would I do if I caught a fish? Like, I can't reel it in. I would get hung up just immediately in all of this. So I need to come down here before it gets too cold and cut this reed grass down. Now, I bought a tool that is specifically for doing that, but it's meant to be dragged behind a boat, so I'm not sure that I'm gonna have enough strength to really cut the grass myself. And if not, I may need to get something else to use down here on this grass. But, this is gonna be a huge job to try to do. But from what I have read, videos I've watched, if I can keep up with this reed grass for a few years, it will eventually die down and stop growing back. So then I should be able to use this area to fish from, and hopefully, again, once the tractor is working, we can make a boat slip somewhere along the path down here so that we can bring our boat down here and take it out on the water if we want to. So, yeah, I mean, there are so many projects to do around here. But, I mean, who would not enjoy working outside when it's this nice of an environment? Am I right? All right, y'all. I got out of the sun here in our little picnic table area. But I think that I have covered everything I wanted to talk about in this video. I don't even know how many projects I listed off to you guys in this video, and I am sure that more things will pop up as we start getting stuff done. And like I say, there are so many things to do that we really have not prioritized exactly what order we want to go in. The thing I want to do first is this reed grass now that Rollo is done. But we'll just see. We'll see what order we actually get things done in. Mouse proofing the house as best as we can is pretty high up on the list too. Those supplies are supposed to come in the next few days, I think, and if they get here, we'll probably work on that first, because not having mice up in the attic all winter would be great. This reed grass is probably already on its way to dying down anyway for the winter time. So just by looking at it, I think some of it is no longer really hollow in the middle. So it's probably ready to just die down on its own without me cutting it. But if I can, I will get down here and cut what I can. Some of the stems look like they're still pretty new and trying to get all those nutrients down to the roots and everything. So yeah, we'll just see what all we can get done before it gets too cold. Christopher's main priority is to try to get the tractor up and running before it gets too cold. We need to mouse-proof the house. I would like to handle these reeds before it gets too cold. But other than that, I think once the weather changes and we really aren't outside as much, the first priority for inside the house is likely going to be painting the bedroom and getting our bedroom furniture put together and put up, because I do want to have our bedroom be a dual purpose room. Yes, we use it as a bedroom, but if I can flip that Murphy bed up, it can also be a workout room for me in the winter time. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this tour of the property. It was not an exhaustive tour. I couldn't get through the woods anymore where it's too grown up, and I obviously didn't walk through the woods on the other side of the road, but there is more than enough for us to do on this side of the road. This place is just so gorgeous. I can't get over it. And even though there is a lot to do, I do also want to try to focus on just doing nothing as much as I can and trying to take this place in. Enjoy what little bit of the warm weather is left for this summer, and not just, you know, continuously work on some project, next project, next project. That's going to be a struggle for me because I know the weather will not be nice for forever. So I want to do as much as I can, but I also need to be realistic and allow myself to decompress a little bit after working so hard for the last 13 months to get here. But like I mentioned earlier, y'all probably understand now why I did what I did. I can't say that I know any other person out there on any kind of fire journey who has taken on 2 full-time night shift jobs and worked them as long as I did. But y'all, knowing that this was on the other side of it, it kept me going. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I am going to get this edited and uploaded. Members, y'all will see this first, and everybody else in the next day or 2. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye, y'all.